Debarim, Deuteronomy chapter 29. These are the words of the covenant which Yahuah commanded Moshe to make with the children of Yisrael in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moshe called all Yisrael and said to them, You yourselves saw all that Yahuah did before your eyes in the land of Mitzrayim, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land. Your eyes saw the great trials, the signs, and those great wonders. But Yahuah has not given you a heart to know, and eyes to see, and ears to hear, till this day. And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your garments have not worn out on you, and your sandals have not worn out on your feet. You ate no bread and drank no wine nor strong drink, so that you might know that I am Yahuah, your Elohim. And when you came to this place, Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon, and Og, sovereign of Bashan, came out against us to battle, and we smote them, and took their land, and gave it as an inheritance to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh. Therefore you shall guard the words of this covenant, and do them, so that you prosper in all that you do. All of you are standing today before Yahuah your Elohim, your leaders, your tribes, your elders, and your officers, all the men of Yisrael, your little ones, your wives, and your sojourner who is in the midst of your camp, from the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water, so that you should enter into covenant with Yahuah your Elohim, and into his oath, which Yahuah your Elohim makes with you today, in order to establish you today as a people for himself, and he himself be your Elohim, as he has spoken to you, and as he has sworn to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov. And not with you alone am I making this covenant and this oath, but with him who stands here with us today before Yahuah our Elohim, as well as with him who is not here with us today. For you know how we dwelt in the land of Mitzrayim, and how we passed through the nations which you passed through, and you saw their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were with them, lest there should be among you a man or woman or clan or tribe, whose heart turns away today from Yahuah our Elohim, to go and serve the mighty ones of these nations, lest there should be among you a root bearing bitterness or wormwood. And it shall be, when he hears the words of this curse, that he should barak himself in his heart, saying, I have peace though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart, in order to add drunkenness to thirst. Yahuah would not forgive him, but rather the displeasure of Yahuah and his jealousy shall burn against that man, and every curse that is written in this book shall settle on him, and Yahuah shall blot out his name from under the Shamayim. And Yahuah shall separate him for evil out of all the tribes of Yisrael, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the Torah. And the generation to come of your children who rise up after you, and the foreigner who comes from a far land, shall say when they see the plagues of that land, and the sicknesses which Yahuah has sent into it, all its land is sulfur, salt, and burning. It is not sown, nor does it bear, nor does any grass grow there, like the overthrow of Sodom and Amorah, Admah, and Zeboim, which Yahuah overthrew in his displeasure and his wrath. And all nations shall say, Why has Yahuah done so to this land? What does the heat of this great displeasure mean? And it shall be said, Because they have forsaken the covenant of Yahuah Elohim of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim. And they went and served other mighty ones, and bowed themselves to them, mighty ones that they did not know, and that he had not given to them. Therefore the displeasure of Yahuah burned against this land, to bring on it every curse that is written in this book. And Yahuah uprooted them from their land in displeasure and in wrath and in great rage, and cast them into another land, as it is today. The hidden belongs to Yahuah our Elohim, but what is revealed belongs to us and to our children forever, to do all the words of this Torah. Debarim, Deuteronomy, chapter 30. And it shall be, when all these words come upon you, the barakah and the curse which I have put before you, and you shall bring them back to your heart among all the Gentiles where Yahuah your Elohim drives you, and shall turn back to Yahuah your Elohim, and obey his voice according to all that I command you today, with all your heart and with all your being, you and your children. Then Yahuah your Elohim shall turn back your captivity, and shall have compassion on you, and he shall turn back and gather you from all the peoples where Yahuah your Elohim has scattered you. If any of you are driven out to the farthest parts under the Shamayim, from there Yahuah your Elohim gathers you, and from there he takes you. And Yahuah your Elohim shall bring you to the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it. And he shall do good to you, and increase you more than your fathers. And Yahuah your Elohim shall circumcise your heart and the heart of your seed, to love Yahuah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being, so that you might live. And Yahuah your Elohim shall put all these curses on your enemies and on those who hate you, who persecuted you. And you shall turn back and obey the voice of Yahuah, and do all his commands which I command you today. And Yahuah your Elohim shall make you have excess in all the work of your hand, in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your livestock, and in the fruit of your ground for good. Yahuah turns back to rejoice over you for good, as he rejoiced over your fathers, if you obey the voice of Yahuah your Elohim, to guard his commands and his laws, which are written in this book of the Torah. If you turn back to Yahuah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being. For this command which I am commanding you today, it is not too hard for you, nor is it far off. It is not in the Shamayim to say, who shall ascend into the Shamayim for us, and bring it to us, and cause us to hear it, so that we do it? Nor is it beyond the sea to say, who shall go over the sea for us, and bring it to us, and cause us to hear it, so that we do it? For the word is very near you, in your mouth and in your heart, to do it. See, I have put before you today chai and good, and death and evil, in that I am commanding you today to love Yahuah your Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to guard his commands and his laws and his right rulings. And you shall live and increase, and Yahuah your Elohim shall barak you in the land which you go to possess. But if your heart turns away, and you do not obey, and shall be drawn away, and shall bow down to other mighty ones and serve them, I have declared to you today that you shall certainly perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land which you are passing over the Jordan to enter and possess. I have called the Shamayim and the earth as witnesses today against you. I have put before you chai and death, the barakah and the curse. Therefore you shall choose chai, so that you live, both you and your seed, to love Yahuah your Elohim, to obey his voice, and to cling to him. For he is your chai, and the length of your days, to dwell in the land which Yahuah swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov, to give them. Debarim, Deuteronomy, chapter 31. And Moshe went and spoke these words to all Yisrael, and he said to them, I am 120 years old today. I am no longer able to go out and come in. And Yahuah has said to me, you do not pass over this Yarden. Yahuah, your Elohim himself is passing over before you. He shall destroy these nations from before you, and you possess them. Yahshua himself is passing over before you, as Yahuah has spoken. And Yahuah shall do to them as he did to Sihon and to Og, the sovereigns of the Amorites, and their land when he destroyed them. And Yahuah shall give them over to you, and you shall do to them according to all the command which I have commanded you. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear nor be afraid of them, for it is Yahuah your Elohim who is going with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. And Moshe called Yahushua and said to him before the eyes of all Yisrael, be strong and courageous, for you are going with this people to the land which Yahuah swore to their fathers to give them, and you are to let them inherit it. And it is Yahuah who is going before you. He himself is with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be discouraged. And Moshe wrote this Torah and gave it to the Kohanim, the sons of Levi, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuah, and to all the elders of Yisrael. And Moshe commanded them, saying, at the end of 7 years, at the appointed time, the year of release, at the festival of Sukkot, when all Yisrael comes to appear before Yahuah your Elohim in the place which he chooses, read this Torah before all Yisrael in their hearing. Assemble the people, the men and the women and the little ones, and your sojourner who is within your gates, so that they hear and so that they learn to revere Yahuah your Elohim and guard to do all the words of this Torah. And their children who have not known it should hear and learn to revere Yahuah your Elohim as long as you live in the land you are passing over the Yarden to possess. And Yahuah said to Moshe, see, the days have drawn near for you to die. Call Yehoshua and present yourselves in the tent of appointment so that I command him. And Moshe and Yehoshua went and presented themselves in the tent of appointment. And Yahuah appeared at the tent in a column of a cloud, and the column of a cloud stood above the door of the tent. And Yahuah said to Moshe, see, you are about to sleep with your fathers, and this people shall rise and whore after the mighty ones of the strangers of the land, into the midst of which they shall enter, and forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my displeasure shall burn against them in that day, and I shall forsake them and hide my face from them, and they shall be consumed. And many evils and distresses shall come upon them, and it shall be said in that day, is it not because our Elohim is not in our midst that these evils have come upon us? And I shall certainly hide my face in that day because of all the evil which they have done, for they shall turn to other mighty ones. And now write down this song for yourselves, and teach it to the children of Yisrael. Put it in their mouths, so that this song is to me for a witness against the children of Yisrael. And I shall bring them to the land flowing with milk and honey, of which I swore to their fathers, and they shall eat and be satisfied and be fat. Then they shall turn to other mighty ones, and they shall serve them and scorn me and break my covenant. And it shall be, when many evils and distresses come upon them, that this song shall answer before them as a witness. For it is not to be forgotten in the mouths of their seed, for I know their thoughts which they are forming today, even before I bring them to the land of which I swore to them. And Moshe wrote this song the same day, and taught it to the children of Yisrael. And he commanded Yehoshua son of Nun, and said, Be strong and courageous, for you are to bring the children of Yisrael into the land of which I swore to them, and I myself am with you. And it came to be, when Moshe had completed writing the words of this Torah in a book until their completion, that Moshe commanded the Levites who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuah, saying, Take this book of the Torah, and you shall place it beside the ark of the covenant of Yahuah your Elohim, and it shall be there as a witness against you. For I myself know your rebellion and your stiff neck. See, while I am still alive with you today, you have been rebellious against Yahuah. Then how much more after my death? Assemble unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, so that I speak these words in their hearing, and call the Shamayim and the earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you shall do very corruptly, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil shall come to you in the later days, because you do what is evil in the eyes of Yahuah, to provoke him through the work of your hands. So Moshe spoke in the hearing of all the assembly of Yisrael the words of this song till their completion. Debarim, Deuteronomy chapter 32. Give ear, O Shamayim, and let me speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. Let my instruction fall as rain, my speech drop down as dew, as fine rain on the tender plants, and as showers on the grass. For I proclaim the name of Yahuah, ascribe greatness to our Elohim, the rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are right ruling, an El of truth and without unrighteousness. Righteous and straight is he. A twisted and wicked generation has corrupted itself, their blemish, not his children. Do you do this to Yahuah, O foolish and unwise people? Is he not your father, who bought you, who created you and established you? Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask your father, and let him show you, your elders, and let them say to you, when the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adon, he established the boundaries of the peoples according to the number of the children of Elohim. For the portion of Yahuah is his people, Yaakov his allotted inheritance. He found him in a wilderness and in a wasted, howling desert. He encompassed him. He made him understand. He watched over him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirs up its nest, flutters over its young, spreading out its wings, taking them up, bearing them on its wings. Yahuah alone led him, and there was no strange mighty one with him. He made him ride in the heights of the earth, and he ate the fruit of the fields, and he made him to draw honey from the rock, and oil from the flinty rock, curds from the cattle, and milk of the flock, with fatness of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the choicest wheat. And you drank wine, the blood of grapes. But Yeshurun grew fat and kicked. You grew fat, you grew thick, you are covered with fat. So he forsook Eloah, who made him, and scorned the rock of his deliverance. They moved him to jealousy with the foreign, with abominations they provoked him. They slaughtered to demons, not Eloah. Mighty ones they did not know, new ones who came lately, which your fathers did not reverence. You neglected the rock who brought you forth, and forgot the El who fathered you. And Yahuah saw and despised, because of the provocation of his sons and his daughters. And he said, let me hide my face from them. Let me see what their end is, for they are a perverse generation, children in whom there is no trusting. They made me jealous by what is not El. They provoked me with their worthlessness. But I make them jealous by those who are no people. I provoke them with a foolish nation. For a fire was kindled in my wrath, and burns to the bottom of Sheol, and consumes the earth and its increase, and lights on fire the foundations of mountains. I gather evils upon them. I use up my arrows upon them, wasted by scarcity of food, and consumed by heat and bitter destruction. And the teeth of beasts I send upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword bereaves from the outside, and fear from within. Both young man and maiden, nursing child with a man of gray hairs. I said, I should blow them away. I should make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. If I did not fear the enemy's taunt, lest their adversaries misunderstand, lest they say, our hand is high, and Yahuah has not done all this. For they are a nation lost to counsel, and there is no understanding in them. If they were wise, they would understand this. They would consider their later end. How would one chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to flight, unless their rock had sold them, and Yahuah had given them up? For their rock is not like our rock. Even our enemies are judges. Their vine is of the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Amorah. Their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of serpents, and the fierce venom of cobras. It is not stored up with me, sealed up among my treasures. Vengeance is mine, and repayment. At the time their foot slips, for near is the day of their calamity, and the preparations are hastening to them. For Yahuah rightly rules his people, and has compassion on his servants, when he sees that their power is gone, and there is no one remaining, shut up or at large. And he shall say, where are their mighty ones, the rock in whom they sought refuge? Who ate the fat of their slaughterings, and drank the wine of their drink offering? Let them arise and help you. Let it be a hiding place for you. See now that I am he, and there is no Elohim besides me. I put to death, and I make alive. I have wounded, and I heal. And from my hand no one delivers. For I lift my hand to the Shamayim, and shall say, as I live forever, if I have sharpened my flashing sword, and my hand takes hold on judgment, I shall return vengeance to my enemies, and repay those who hate me. I make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword devours flesh, with the blood of the slain and the captives from the long-haired enemy chiefs. O nations, acclaim his people, for he avenges the blood of his servants, and returns vengeance to his adversaries, and shall pardon his land, his people. Then Moshe came with Yehoshua son of Nun, and spoke all the words of this song in the hearing of the people. And when Moshe ended speaking all these words to all Yisrael, he said to them, lay your heart on all the words with which I warn you today, so that you command your children to guard to do all the words of this Torah. For it is not a worthless word for you, because it is your Chai, and by this word you prolong your days on the land which you pass over the Jordan to possess. And Yahuah spoke to Moshe that same day, saying, Go up this mountain of the Evarim, Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, which is opposite Jericho, and look at the land of Canaan, which I give to the children of Yisrael as a possession, and die on the mountain which you ascend, and be gathered to your people, as Ehron your brother died on Mount Hor, and was gathered to his people, because you trespassed against me in the midst of the children of Yisrael at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because you did not kadosh me in the midst of the children of Yisrael. For you are to look at the land before you, but not enter there into the land which I am giving to the children of Yisrael.